Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Tillman. Now, I told you guys last week that I was going to give you guys some more information about a video that's recently gone viral. Now, what I want to do first is I'm going to show you guys a video that went viral that was filmed by a bystander or a witness that was just passing by. Let's take a look at that one.
I got her. This is my daughter. She's on the Okay, why you don't have to apprehend her? She was staying on, okay?
You need to back up. You need to back up.
Do not touch me. Back up. Back up.
Just calm down. Calm down. Okay? Hold on.
You can talk to her.
Okay, but you can get up. You don't have to
No,
do her like this.
she's trying to jump in front of
No,
traffic.
she's not. Please.
Kaya, just calm down. Kaya, calm down. Kaya, calm down.
Just calm down, okay? Calm
Just
down.
let her get up.
That's why
You do not
if
have to
just
sit on her
okay,
like
why you get
that.
up? Okay.
If we can restrain her, we'll stand her up and she's fine, okay?
Okay, Mama. I was telling
Suicidal.
you.
Okay. Okay, well, let us get her restrained and safe. Back up. Everybody will
She is literally foaming from her mouth. She is literally foaming from her mouth.
Okay,
And he is
can you
sitting on
just
top
let
of
her
her.
up? Just stand back.
roll over. Rolling over.
Why are y'all about to handcuff her?
Just hold on a
She
second.
has not done anything. And then you are on her all rough. I need your fucking badge number and your name. Record his fucking shit.
Please do.
All right, now that we've watched that video, today I really need you guys to stay with me, and I need you guys to think with your mind and not just your eyes. And the reason I say that is because visually this video looks bad. You have an officer that's straddling a girl who eventually says she can't breathe, she starts to vomit, and so from the outside looking in, it looks terrible. It looks like this officer is utilizing excessive force. But we have to go back on this video and we got to understand why this officer was in the area and talking to her in the first place. So what I'm going to do second is I'm going to play you the officer's video, and then we're going to bring both of these videos back together so we can bring you guys all the context. Let's look at the officer's video.
You okay? What are you crying for? Well, here, come talk to me. What's wrong? How come you're crying? And you're barefoot?
I'm just trying to.
Where do you live at? What's your address? 55, so I'm out at Rambling and Rustic with that female. What's your address?
Why are you here?
Just to talk to you and make sure you're okay.
I'm okay.
Okay, well here, hang on. Just slow down and talk to me, okay? Just slow down and talk to me. Okay, well here, hold on, okay? You're not in trouble, but you gotta stay right here, okay? You can't go walking off, okay? Because you gotta stay right here, okay?
Okay, why are you hurting
So,
me?
no, I'm not hurting you.
Okay, can I call my
You
mom?
can't leave. How old are you?
I'm 18.
You're 18? Where's your mom live?
Can I call her? I don't want you to hurt
You can't
me.
walk off. I'm not gonna hurt you, okay? But
I don't want you to hurt
you
me.
can't walk off like that, okay?
I don't want you to hurt me.
I'm not gonna hurt you, okay? I'm
Okay,
here
can I
to
get
make
in the
sure
car?
you're okay. You can get in the grass, that's fine. So we got a call that you were jumping out in front of cars, so
No,
I
I
can't
wasn't.
let you go walking off on
Okay,
me now,
can I
okay?
go home?
Well, where do you live?
I want to tell you.
Okay, so you can't go anywhere, okay? You gotta talk to me, okay?
Let me call my sister. I don't want you to hurt me.
I'm not gonna hurt you, okay? Okay. Stop pulling away.
I don't want you to hurt
I'm
me.
not gonna hurt you. If you keep pulling away, I gotta put you in handcuffs, though. Okay? Stop pulling away. Stop pulling away. Okay?
No, you're hurting me already.
Pull away. All right?
You're hurting me already.
Find your
You're hurting me.
Find your back, okay?
No, the police is hurting
55, so can I get a 40 unit over here? Here. Just sit down. Sit down, okay? Sit down, okay? Sit down, okay? Look, I'm trying not to hurt you. I gotta just sit down, okay?
You're hurting me already.
Sit down, okay?
Now, after watching the officer's video, I have to tell you that this officer was rightfully within his means to utilize the force that he decided to do. And here's why. This officer is responding to a call where a girl was supposedly running into traffic. You have a suicidal subject or a subject that's dealing with mental illness. Now, no, some of you guys have reached out to me and said that should officers be responding to mental health calls for service? And I know a lot of people believe that social workers should be responding to such calls. Now, I've always agreed that, yeah, social workers shouldn't get involved when we are dealing with people that have mental illness. No doubt about it. But at the same time, at what point should these social workers start to get involved? Should they start to get involved at the time of that crisis? Should they start to get involved before the crisis? Or should they start to get involved after the crisis? The reason you still need police officers to respond to these calls is because you don't know what direction they're going to go until you're actually out dealing with the person. And what I mean by that is if this person is suicidal or willing to cause harm to another individual so that way they can incite that suicidal ideation, that's a call that an officer should respond to. So the officer in this call for service responded to a girl that was supposedly walking in front of traffic trying to hurt herself. Once that officer arrives on scene, he has a duty and obligation to try to make sure she doesn't run into traffic. It's different if she wants to just keep walking and the officer never finds her and she does suicide without that officer being present. But now that that officer is present, should he just allow her to walk into the street and get hit by a car right in front of him? Now, this is kind of where the rubber meets the road, and we as officers have to decide whether or not we're going to intervene and save somebody from trying to kill themselves. Some people would argue and say, you know what, it's not a crime to kill yourself and just let her walk into the street, while others are going to argue, no, we have a moral obligation to intervene so that we don't hurt herself. This officer chose not to allow her to walk into the street until he could successfully evaluate her or get her the help that she needs. So as she starts to pull away from him, he takes her to the ground because, again, he does not want to let her go into the street. Now, shortly after that, her mom arrives on scene, and her mom obviously doesn't really know what's going on probably, and is really upset because he sees an officer sitting on top of her. Now, have I, laid on top of somebody until my officers arrive for help? Yes, I have. And the reason I have is because I want to make sure that I can control this individual until I get multiple partners with me so we can successfully detain that individual. She starts to yell that she can't breathe, but you have to understand, although he's sitting on top of her, she's up in the upright position and she can breathe. And even though she starts to vomit, it's not necessarily a medical emergency. A lot different from when George Floyd was on the ground with the officer on his back. We need to turn him on his side or upright so that way he can breathe. She was able to breathe. She was just having a panic attack, it seemed like, or at least an anxiety attack. And then after that situation, they start to detain her and walk her over so that way they can medically evaluate her. And then that's when her mom tries to go over there and interject herself into the investigation, ultimately causing herself to be arrested. Now, some of you guys are going to say, well, she was just going to go help her daughter. You have to realize officers have a duty to do an investigation, and while we're doing an investigation, you need to stand by and let them do their job until you want to interject. Because she started to intervene while they're doing an investigation, these officers don't know who this mom is. They don't know where she's coming from. They don't know why she's there in the first place. They may not even know that she's her mom at that moment in time. But because of that, these officers have to go and detain her because they can't have her coming to interject herself in the situation. Now, the last thing I'm going to say is this. I know as parents, I'm a parent of 3, and I know I want to let that daddy bear come out, especially if I feel that my child is in danger. And that's rightfully what this mom was feeling. But at the same time, there's a time and a place to interject yourself, especially when officers are doing an investigation. We shouldn't go running, especially over to try to remove your daughter from the officer's hands. We need to let the process take care of itself so that way the officers can make sure they do their investigation the right way and understand whether or not this girl needs to get mental health evaluation or she can go back to her mom. This video went viral very quickly. A lot of it's because it looks bad on the outside, but at the end of the day, when you break down everything and you look at the context, I'm going to have to say that it seemed like it was justified. So I hope this gives you a little bit more context. Thanks again and God bless.